Okay, and this last one is a kind of a teaser for, if I can get it, there it is. It's a teaser for the third and final installment of Kingdom of the Sky series. Well, I'll let the video speak for itself.
Where we tell you about ourselves, how you can find out more. So my YouTube channel is Seth Bling, like bling, and you can follow me on Twitter, Seth Bling. I have SethBling.com, Facebook, Seth Bling. Yeah, Seth Bling, the stuffed animal, Seth Bling, the soda drink.
And briefly, how did you come up with that name?
That was my screen name in high school. AIM screen name.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you can find me, find more.
I was 14 and I thought it sounded cool. It's been 15 years and I'm too lazy to change it. I just betrayed my age. But I'm Ridge Dog. Like I said, I own the Voxel Box. Good luck getting in. Just kidding. Everybody's welcome. You can email me at just email me at richdog@yogscast.com, and I'll totally reply to everybody, I swear. Probably. Because I'm still in that point where I love fans.
That's not very nice to say.
No, I do. No, it's mine.
No.
Okay.
Mine. Yeah. YouTube, MC Kupo, and Twitter, MC Kupo. As I said, I always, I'm there to help out with build advice. Please don't ask me anything Redstone. I'll just ignore you. And I don't do that usually. I'm pretty nice. Yeah, I'll send it to Rich. He can answer it.
I'll send it to Seth Bling.
We'll pass it along the chain of commands here.
My YouTube channel is Blame the Controller. Twitter is @BlameTC. And I think that's about it. Well, you can also go to blamethecontroller.com if you want to download any of my maps and the like. So I think that's about it. Going to wrap it up here. And we'll be available to talk to everybody afterwards.
Yeah, come on up.
So,
bite.
Hi, Mom.
I have stickers for everybody.
I don't have anything.
Shout out to Mom and Dad.
Hi, Mom.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
And Chelsea.
Welcome, one and all, to the 2012 annual Minecraft Competitive Spleef Championships. All you hardcore fans can switch off for a second, but for all you newcomers, here's a quick explanation of just what Spleef is. Spleef is a minigame in Minecraft that's actually really simple to understand. An arena is built of snow or dirt or another quick-to-destroy block. This arena can be built in any way you like, as long as it has an elevated platform with a destroyable block. It's built above a drop, a water pool, or if you're sadistic, a lava lake. The aim of the game is for each person to try and break the blocks under the other's feet, the winner being the last man standing. Of course, you're not allowed to place blocks, and creative flying is completely out of the question. There are many variations of the game Spleef, from the simple arena we've just mentioned to the multiple-story, differently layered Spleef arena. There's also a fire Spleef, where the floor is made of a flammable material and then set fire to, ever burning the floor until there's nowhere left to go. Of course, your Spleef arena can be decorated in loads of different ways, anything you want really.
It'll be fun, they said. You'll have a laugh, they said. No one said nothing about no creepers. But as the saying goes, I will survive. Yes, this video is all about the iconic game mode known as survival. It's the second oldest and most common game mode in Minecraft, and some would say it's the true Minecraft game mode. In survival mode, you're given health and hunger, and you battle mobs, keep alive, collect resources, and ultimately don't die. The game mode with the most difference to this is creative, where your health and hunger are gone and you have access to infinite resources. In survival, you have an inventory of items, an area to store your goods that consists of 27 storage slots, 4 armor slots, and 9 hotkey slots. You gather items or blocks in these slots, many of which can be combined in recipes to make other items or blocks. To aid you in crafting these recipes, a very useful block in survival is the crafting table. The aim of survival mode is merely to survive, although it differs from hardcore mode in that dying in the game will result in a respawn, rather than the world being deleted. If you get tired of playing through survival mode and would like a shot at one of the others, you can always start a new world with a different game type, or enable cheats upon world creation and then type /game mode into the command bar, followed by 0, 1, 2 or 3 depending on what game mode you want.
So, you've got an idea for a brilliant thing you want to build in Minecraft, but it's mostly made of diamond blocks. Or you keep getting killed when all you want to do is make pretty things. Sounds like you need a small slice of creative mode. Creative is a game mode in Minecraft that removes a lot of the aspects of survival mode. So you don't take damage from anything except falling into the void. You won't aggro hostile mobs unless you attack it first, and even then they won't give you damage when you're attacking them. Creepers will still explode when you aggro them, dealing damage to your environment, but not you. Another aspect of creative mode is that you can fly. Yes, you can fly by double tapping space. This allows you to cover large distances and reach tall buildings easier. The menu is also greatly changed in creative, with almost every block in the game being accessible in infinite quantities. You can instantly destroy blocks by left-clicking on them, and this, coupled with the infinite blocks, means you can make some very impressive buildings and sceneries. Not only that, you can destroy bedrock so you can fly beneath the world, and the murk you get at the void will disappear in creative. If you want to instantly select a block from the environment instead of trawling through the inventory, just use the pick block key. This button, usually the middle mouse key, will put that block straight into your hotbar if there's room.
Hey, I heard they added ocelots. Ooh, I wanna catch one, so I scare the creepers off. So this is what I'll do. I'm gonna grab me a fishing rod and tame you, and then you'll scare the creepers off, creepers off, creepers off.
Oh, like I'll be doing my thing, doing some mining, then they creep in, and it begins. He's right behind you. What can you do? Boom! You're almost out of that cave after being so brave. Thought it was so safe. You were going your way and you're done for the day, but you just got caught by a creeper. You got thrown up because his eyes could see you. You're minding your business and did not hear. You can't leave your house because you're struck with fear.
Hey, I heard they added ocelots. Ooh, I wanna catch one, so I scare the creepers out. So this is what I'll do. I'm gonna grab me a fishing rod and tame you, and then you'll scare the creepers out, creepers out, creepers out.
Jungle biomes are my new home. Ocelots keep the creepers going. Gotta get more, gotta make an army. Don't want none of those creepers around me. Amazing, I'm so glad I don't have to run. This is so much fun, let's go do some mining. All day, every day, gotta get that ore. Diamond sword for the skeletons. Uh-oh, bring it on and see how it goes. Creeper backing off cause he already knows. Saw my ocelot in the creeper froze. No more sneak around on his twinkle toes. I can't believe it, these guys are so sick. Got the creepers running around in a scare fit. I wish I added these sooner. Rolling in the jungle with my ocelot mafia.
Hey, I heard they added ocelots. Ooh, I wanna catch one, so I scare the creepers out. So this is what I'll do. I'm gonna grab me a fishing rod and tame you, and then you'll scare the creepers out, creepers out, creepers out. Ooh, I got a raw fish just for you. I'm standing still, come on through. I got your raw fish, please come here. With you by my side, I won't have to fear.
With you by my side, I can mine in peace. With you by my side, the creeping will cease. How my diamonds, take them home and we can make a sword. Take this fish and stick with me.
Hey, I heard they added ocelots. Ooh, I wanna catch one, so I scare the creepers out. So this is what I'll do. I'm gonna grab me a fishing rod and tame you, and then you'll scare the creepers out, creepers out, creepers out. Ooh, I got a raw fish just for you. I'm standing still, come on through. I got your raw fish, please come here. With you by my side, I won't have to fear.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Once bitten, twice shy. Years under the belt. These are all ways of saying you've had experience or experienced something. It means something slightly different in Minecraft, although it's similar. Experience is the levels in Minecraft you gain by doing tasks. Tasks like killing mobs, whether hostile or not, will give experience, as will mining through ores and smelting and cooking. Breeding animals will also give experience, as will catching fish. Experience is used for enchanting, as well as repairing and combining your items. Enchanting takes place at the enchanting table, and once you put your armour, weapon or tool into the slot and choose an enchantment, your experience level will drop by that amount. The anvil is the place to repair and combine your items, and a similar thing happens here too. Note the number of experience levels needed, and if you have enough you can make the change. The maximum level of experience is 30, and the levelling works like so. It's 17 experience points per level until you hit level 16. Beyond that, the amount of experience needed increases by 3. Because enchanting tables and anvils are quite hard to get, if you play cautiously, you should have lots of experience levels by the time you can make them. I'm late for a very important date. No time to say hello, goodbye, I'm late. Thus said the White Rabbit in Alice in Wonderland. Shame he didn't have sprinting to speed him up. Sprinting is, well, a method of getting around in Minecraft that basically does what it says on the tin. You start off by double tapping forwards, usually W, which zooms you in slightly and sets you going, with particles coming from your speedy feet. It will allow you to run 5 or 6 blocks per second, faster than the 4 blocks per second for walking. Sprinting will also allow you to jump further, although not higher than normal jumping. Sprinting will stop when you collide with a block next to you or above you, or when you're moving or when you sneak. Be warned though, sprinting uses up your food bar at a much faster rate, and when you're below 30% food, you won't be able to sprint no more. Sad times. However, you can travel great distances with sprinting if you have little food to spare. Good times. Make sure you don't sprint off a cliff or down a hill, that can cause damage. Sad times. But if you sprint on ice, you can travel even faster. Very good times. Sprinting causes a knockback effect when you hit mobs whilst doing it, although speeding past and through a mob won't cause you to stop. The opposite end of the spectrum to sprinting is sneaking.
I used to rule the world. Chunks would load when I gave the word. Now every night I go stowaway. Hide from the mobs I used to slay. They once were terrified. Every time I looked into their eyes, villagers would cheer my way. For a hero I was, that's what they'd say. One minute we had it all. Next our world began to fall away from all that it had once become. They all cried for my help, but I stood there numb. I gaze up into the boundless skyline. No block choirs playing in the sunshine. Turn around, pick up my sword and wheel the blade that once forced evil mobs to yield. And hope one day that this chaos and destruction turns for the better. Never a bow in hand. That was when I ruled the land. It was the creepers and the skeletons. Blew down the doors and boxed us in. Arrows whizzing by like streaks of light. I tried all that I could to stay and fight as the undead roamed the street. Families broken at my feet, life itself suspended by a thread. Oh, why was it that I wasn't dead? I gaze off into the boundless skyline. No block choirs playing in the sunshine. Turn around, pick up my sword and wheel the blade that once forced evil mobs to yield. If this battle should leave me slain, I know Harold will call my name. Better to take a stand. That was when I ruled the land. I gaze
there's not actually fire. We're not allowed to have it for real. So just feel the warmth of us.
Isn't that one real?
Is it still fiery? Oh, no?
Okay.
That's us.
Okay.
Our warmth is all you get. So we're going to spend a little time talking to Notch.
Hello.
And at the end of this, we're going to actually take audience questions. We have a mic set up. We'll be able to take your questions. So think really hard about what you want to know. But first, let's get started with the deep, deep, deep questions of where it all began. As a baby.
Yeah, toddler.
A toddler, yes, actually. Babies don't use computers. No. Where did you get started as far as your first computer? What was it?
Well, my dad bought a Commodore 128, and that was the first computer I ever played with. And it kind of quickly became my computer because I kind of took it over. And we were subscribing to this magazine, and it had the code listings in it. So me and my sister spent some time just typing that in, and that's kind of how we got started with programming.
So what were the first, what was the first program? Obviously that may be tough because you write some code. But what was the first finished product you ever had?
Oh, I was very bad at finishing stuff. I kind of started projects and never finished anything, and then started new ones over and over again. It wasn't until I was much older I actually finished like a game.
How old?
I do not remember.
So, going through being a kid who loves computers and plays with computers all the time, how did that actually then morph into your career as actually writing code and finishing games sometimes?
Well, I kind of always knew I wanted to be a game programmer, and back then that wasn't really a real career. Now there's like an education for it and there are schools for it, but back then there was nothing. So people would kind of tell me, no, you need to get a real job, but I refused. And then I got some jobs doing games programming, and it kind of went from there. And then I think when I worked for King.com is when I really learned to finish games, because I made like 30 games over 5 years there.
Well, I know I see this all the time on Twitter, on Facebook. People just asking because they're curious. How many people here want to become a game developer? I think that's like 80%. Like, what kinds of advice do you have for people who are interested in that? I mean, no one can replicate someone else's story. Everyone's going to do something different, but there's always great tidbits you can give. Like, what are the kinds of things that you think that they should focus on and be interested in?
Well, I think actually working on it is more important than thinking about it. So if you just get started, even if it's not something big, or even if it's just small, to just try to make games or look at tutorials or play with code other people have made or something. And then also to keep a critical eye towards what you're doing, because it's very easy to just assume what you're doing is good because you're used to it. But if you try to see it with like the eyes of a new player, it helps a lot.
So, okay, that is tidbit.
Thank you.
That's tidbit number one. Let's talk a little bit about the development of Minecraft. So before then, you were working, you had regular job-ish, regular-ish job. How did you actually get started on developing Minecraft? It's not your first game.
No, I've been making, I was doing games for like competitions like Ludendare and the Java 4K competition and such in my spare time. And then I've been working at King for 4.5 years, and I decided I wanted to make something for myself. So I kind of quit that job and got started on Minecraft. I got a day job as a web developer, which lasted a couple of months until I dropped part-time. Then I quit that full after a few more months because Minecraft just took off like crazy.
And when it got, like, when you were starting Minecraft, this is the question that everyone asks you, but I'm going to ask anyway. Like, what was your plan with the game? I mean, were you developing this as one of those just personal projects where it's like, I'm just going to see where this goes, or did you have a plan?
Yeah, the idea was kind of to make a personal project that was supposed to be profitable. So the idea was to spend 6 months on it, kind of failed that, and then to have it kind of recoup the cost, so I could make another game after that. So that's kind of why I started charging for it so early. I saw Cortex Command did that, and I was kind of interested by that kind of monetization idea of like having the fans pitch in and help you develop it. And yeah, that was kind of the plan, and then it just blew up.
So I mean, in a lot of cultures, societies, like the kind of path that you're told to take is very much a structured path that goes through school and then more schooling, then starting at a company that is involved in the kind of thing that you want to do and moving up through the ranks, and then possibly at some point you develop that into something. You took a slightly different route than that. Like, what do you think are the strengths of being someone who grew up with computers and then turned something you just loved into what you did in the future, as opposed to just moving through that path where you may have to you choose your job when you choose your major going into college?
Yeah, I think the difference there is kind of people who do something as their job and as their hobby, you get so much more experience so much faster. So you can kind of skip a few of the steps, I think. I think it's very important to know you're never going to be an expert right off the bat. You have to, because I've been programming since I was 8, and I'm far from an expert still. And it's like you can't expect the first thing you do to be a hit. So having a few jobs as such is probably a good idea. Because before King, I didn't know how to finish games, so that was a huge experience for me. Yeah, but since I did it as a hobby as well, I kind of got to learn faster than just doing it as a job.
So when Minecraft, when you first released the beginning parts, I don't know the full story of how this went, but the first time I did hear it, and I don't remember it all, it was very interesting. So you had released this on forums and kind of shared it very early in the stages. Like, how is that different from what we usually see, where you go, even with indie games, you're buying a finished product or finished-ish product, but your product was out there that people could play and be a part of and give input, like, right from the beginning. Like, why did you even decide to do that?
I think well, Cortex Command was an inspiration for that, and also roguelikes, which are really nerdy, kind of text-based games. They kind of do really early releases and kind of keep doing releases. They're usually free, but I just charge for mine. Like, here's an unfinished game, please pay me. Yeah, so that's the answer.
That's the answer. So, like, okay, now you see a lot of this Kickstarter funding and Indiegogo, and these are ways that people are getting their games out. When you had done yours, it wasn't quite like that, but it ended up being kind of the same community spirit. How do you think people should go about developing their games? Do you like that model, the community-driven model, to come out with a product that people don't actually know even what's coming out yet?
I think it kind of depends what type of game you're making. For a game that's very sandboxy like Minecraft, it fits well to release it early, because you can kind of keep iterating and adding features. If you do a very story-driven game, you can't really release it early and kind of keep iterating on the story, because people will get tired of the story after playing it like a couple of times. Yeah, so it definitely depends on that. And for Kickstarter, I think it's a bit of a risk when the projects get too big, because then you're not really sure what you're kind of paying for. So it's important when you do chip into a Kickstarter, you don't see it necessarily as an investment, but more like almost charity-like, like this is what I want and I really like these developers or something. Because otherwise you might end up being disappointed eventually. But so far, the stuff Kickstarter have all been good, so I've been lucky.
What are some of the favorite projects that you've funded, just personally?
Oh, there's so many. Well, there's the Maya game, looks amazing, and then now there's a new Elite game. The Wastelands 2, it's a fun one. Of course, the Oculus Rift. It's going to be amazing.
So you really believe in this model, this crowdsourced model. But how much, see, you have taken and allowed the community to have input in the game from the start, right? Like, they were able to buy a very, very early version, but then you actually took their input and then put that into the game. And we still kind of have that spirit at Mojang, that the community does know what they want, and you can't take every suggestion, but you'll take many of them. Like, how do you think that is going to develop games different from a team of, people who are making those decisions internally in a box?
Well, I think it's important that you differentiate between just like doing what the fans tell you to do or just getting feedback. Because I think it's important, it's a personal opinion, I think games should be made by the game developers, and that you should let them make the decisions and make them make mistakes with the game, because then the games are a much more personal experience. I'm not really sure I believe in the idea of crowdsourcing the game design, it might fit for some games, like if you're doing like an esports game or something. But in other games, I want to see more of the personalities behind it.
I do feel like if you have too many ideas from too many places, and what you end up with, because you can only take the general consensus things, you'll have a very homogenized product that's just kind of like,
Yeah, that's also true.
you'll only get like the core of everything, and you'll never take any risks. So with Minecraft, right, 1.0 came out just over a year ago, and why did you decide not to continue as the lead developer when you had passed it on to Jens?
Well, I think mostly because I tend to get really bored with things after like 3 years. So, like when I worked at King for 4.5, that's the longest I ever kept a job. So, I think I felt like I had expressed the parts of the game that I wanted to express, like the block building and all that, and now it was more an iterative process, and Jens was doing such an amazing job at that already, and he was much better at actually like working with the community. I could sometimes feel a bit threatened by like community mods because they were doing things better than I could do it. So I kind of went, no, it's time to hand this over to Jens and try to make a new game.
So, like, how do you feel about the game now? You know, when you look at it, I mean, I played the game, you know, I haven't played heavily for over a year. And when I look at videos like that video that Hat Films made and all the new features and things, it's amazing how far it's come. Like, when you look at that stuff, like, how do you feel with your sense of ownership versus where it has gone?
Yeah, I'm very impressed with what we're doing, actually. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes I hear about like new features from Twitter or something. I haven't even seen it in the office. But I think Jens has this really interesting ability to make like procedural houses and stuff that actually feel interesting to me somehow. And I kind of wish I could do that. So it's very fun to see it happen.
So what's your favorite part about what you had done? Like, from back in the beginning? Like, what's the thing you're really proud or happy about?
Oh, there's so much. I think, like, on a technical standpoint, switching the game over to kind of the infinite terrain was a huge deal. What else? Well, the lucky accident of the creeper was a good one. It's very iconic.
It
was a pure accident.
And what did to explain that accident?
So, yeah, all the models in the game I made as code, because I can't use like 3D software. So I basically went box here, box there, box there, and I tried to make a pig. And instead of making it long, I accidentally made it tall. So it was a really tall pig with like 4 tiny feet stuck together in the middle. And it's like, that is very creepy looking, and that's where the name came from.
That's actually the story of how that happened.
Yeah.
So then how did you decide to make them blow up?
I don't remember the actual process, but I think it was inspired by some enemies from other game, but I don't remember the actual process. It was just like playing around with it and just making it explode was kind of, I don't know, it seemed to fit the shape of the character somehow.
So, you know, the game has gone beyond a game now. It actually has. It's changing what some people even do for a living, right? We have all kinds of YouTubers who are here this weekend, and they make their entire living off of doing content for the Minecraft community. You know, like, what is that like, actually feeling the extent of your vision going out there?
Well, that is kind of the true Minecraft. I kind of feel like I made a game, and then the community kind of made the community around the game, and the combination of the two is kind of the true Minecraft. So it's way more than just the game I made about just chopping rock kind of slowly. Because, for example, creative mode is not what I wanted in the game at all, but it's in the game because a lot of people use it. And then people are doing really cool mods, and they're doing really intricate stuff, like abusing bugs in redstone so we can't fix it. And it's turned into something much bigger, and it's very impressive. And it's very fun to be able to be part of that.
So speaking of mods, from the beginning, there were people making mods, doing all kinds of crazy things. The first time I played, I installed a mod that had unicorns and stuff in it, right? Yeah. Like, you have kind of allowed that to happen, and then now we have the development of a mod API. Like, how do you feel that that has affected the game itself, or what part of that is in the plan?
What part is in the plan?
That made no sense.
Okay.
I stated that question entirely wrong. What I meant was, like, how did all of this modding kind of fit into what you were originally trying to do?
The modding wasn't in the plan at all from the start. because I was doing it in Java, it was so easy to modify the code. And then people started playing with it, and I thought, well, that's awesome. I also felt a bit threatened, like as a programmer and a game designer, but I decided, like, I'm not gonna do anything about it. I'm just gonna let people do it. I'll just, if I feel threatened, I'll just look the other way around or something. And then we decided to do the mod API, but that turned into a bit of a problem because the API now, which is basically the entire source code, it's so much better than any API we could ever make. So we're trying to figure out how to do that now.
How do you think that the modding, like, has that affected the game development at all? I mean, sometimes it's inevitable that people will do things with what you've created that are good ideas, and then you may implement those ideas later. Like, how much does that come into play?
Yeah, that's actually, back when I was working, me and Jens, Jens would find these cool mods that added something that we kind of wish we had done. Like the smooth lighting is probably the biggest one. So we worked with that guy to actually add it to the game proper. And there are a few other things like that. I don't remember which ones exactly now, because I got put on the spot. But it's, I think, the smooth lighting is like the perfect example of that.
Like, so, I mean, this happens with other things as well. Like, Apple makes an iPhone, people jailbreak it, and then they write all of these jailbroken apps for it, and then later you see those features in there. Was there ever a point where you really felt, okay, this is actually valuable to us as a resource of seeing what people can do with this, or was it truly just an accident and that's how it just kind of played out?
No, when I saw people started making mods, it kind of, it made me think back to like Half-Life and Doom and other things people have been modding, and I know that that's been really good for the community for those games. So I always saw it as a big benefit.
So the indie gaming community at large, like, you've invited some indie gamers here. They have panels here through the entire weekend. Like, you obviously support that whole feel. Mojang itself, although it is an independent company, has grown quite large. Like, what kind of camaraderie do you still feel with that indie community, and why is it so important to you?
I think it's, I try to avoid the like indie kind of label because it implies it's not real games, and you don't really need to make the distinction. But to me, it's the indie scene has kind of made it possible for very small studios to make games, which again brings out the personality in a big way. And that's something I really, really like in games. You can, like when you're playing VVVVVV, it's 6 Vs, by Terry Kavanagh, you really feel like you're kind of playing his game. And then you play Super Hexagon and you kind of curse and break your phone.
So going back when you were starting, I mean, there's so many starting areas, but like, who have been kind of your inspirations, or what games, like what was the one that just kept you going, like thinking about while you were developing your own stuff?
Oh, there's a lot. I think there's a lot of like Westwood games, especially like the Eye of the Beholder series, which is a total rip-off of Dungeon Master. And then of course Doom and like Populous and other Peter Molyneux games, of course. And then the Ultima series. There's a lot of like these games, and like a common theme in most of them is like it's a really, there's one individual kind of strong designer behind them.
So you're wearing this shirt.
Yeah.
You're calling this 10 to the C?
Yeah. There's no official pronunciation. I just say 10 to the C.
That's what you say. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Well, I'm trying to make a space game, and I'm not sure it's going to be fun yet. I think it is. There's a backstory, and there's like a laser gun, and you can jump. And eventually you'll have like an entire spaceship that you and your friends can kind of try to keep alive in a very desolate future. And hopefully it turns into like a chaotic but fun experience of like crash landing into a planet and having to scavenge resources to fix your ship and stuff like that. Right now it's just an empty ship to run around in.
So you've put out clips already, people have seen it. Like, following Minecraft, and then you took a little time where you weren't coding, and now you're getting back into it. I see you sometimes like just happily coding. How much of it is affected by the fact that you've already made Minecraft and now you're making this new game? Do you think about that a lot, like what that means?
Yeah, that was right after I kind of stepped down. That was a big thing. I was like, there's no way I could ever follow this up, and do I need to follow it up, or how should I like how should I do that and how should I think about it? And then after a while, I just started missing programming, and I had this space idea for a long time. So I just started working on that. I'm like, yeah, this is actually fun. It's kind of a very nerdy game because it's like an actual working CPU in it, and it's gonna be like you have to work together in a team, possibly. So I'm definitely not expecting it to sell anywhere near as much as Minecraft, which kind of takes some pressure off.
So speaking of that, I mean, Mojang also has the game Scrolls, which you are not an active developer on. But like, can you tell us a little bit about like when you decided to actually, you know, when Mojang decided to actually develop Scrolls, and like what was the plan behind that? And you know, now we actually have a game that people can play.
Yeah, it was. I was working on Minecraft on my own, and it was kind of started to take off. And me and Jacob had this game idea. Was kind of the core seed for Scrolls. It's changed a bit now, but it's a game we wanted to do. So we discussed like, let's just like start a company, and I can work on like. Or actually, the first idea was he would go part-time, we would work on Scrolls like 2 days a week, and I work on Minecraft the rest. And then we just decided to start a company, so he could work on Scrolls and I can work on Minecraft. So that's how that got started.
And how much like input do you have in the development of Scrolls? Are you involved at all?
In Scrolls, no, I don't get involved at all, because I don't want to like make Jacob feel like I'm trying to tell him what to do.
Do you play Scrolls?
I have never played Scrolls.
Never?
It's true, I've never ever played Scrolls. It's turned into a fun thing now, where we kind of watch people play, but I've never played it. So I'm gonna wait until like, I don't know, the full release or something, and then we can like live stream you playing it or something.
I think that'll probably be a pretty big thing then. Okay, so there was something I wanted to bring up. I had asked you before because I think a lot of people are interested in this, but you've made a lot of posts, blog posts and tweets about patents. And I think people would be very interested to hear like what is like one coherent maybe message of like kind of your thoughts on this. Like this is something that affects everyone. There's copyright, there's trademark, there's patents.
Yeah.
But I think your contention with the system is mostly about the patent system.
Yeah. Well, basically, the difference between the three is a trademark is the right to use a name. Like you have a product and you call it product B. And you don't want other people to say, this is product B, and kind of confuse your customers. And then you have copyright, which is if you actually make something, you get to decide how it gets distributed. And then you have patents, which is even one step further removed, which is you have an idea, and someone else can't use that idea. And the sharing of ideas is how all of society has happened, more or less. You can't just go, oh, I thought of stairs. That's a very clever way of getting up. And you can't make stairs now. It's not you can't steal my stairs, because that's copyright, but it's you can't make stairs at all. But what if we make a slightly different stair? No, I patented the process of getting up. And it's very, very harmful. The idea behind patents is to reward inventors who come up with these really complex ideas and spend a lot of money trying to figure stuff out, especially like in medicine. But in a field like software, where innovation is so fast, I mean, a piece of software that's 5 years old is outdated by far, and the patents last much longer than that. And it's just very bad for everyone. And if you look at what's going on with like patent lawsuits and stuff, it's not good at all.
So how do we fix this? Is
Well,
that an answerable question?
Yeah, we get rid of all patents. We maybe keep medical patents.
Do you think you can make that happen?
No,
Okay. Just wanted to know.
I will try.
In a little bit, we're going to go ahead and start taking questions from the audience. So I believe the microphone is over here. Can you guys go ahead and start a line over here? Please don't run. I see you all running right now. Over here, see where that light just came on in that microphone? We're going to line up there and take questions from the audience. So if you have a question for Marcus, for Notch, now is the time to line up, and then you can ask it.
Hello.
Hello.
What inspired you to make the spider jockey?
I think it's actually, I started adding code so like different animals could ride on like mine carts and stuff, and everything that can actually move around in the game could ride something else that can move around. So I just think, just because it seemed like a terrifying idea, decided, well, let's just put a skeleton on a spider and see what happens. And then it turned into this like really horrifying creature. So I kept them in mostly as an Easter egg, actually.
So how many of your ideas are just like that? You just implement an idea that comes to your head rather than actually thinking it all the way through?
Like in percentage, or? I don't know.
No, I mean, like, is that a big part of the way that you develop? Like, just kind of throwing it out there, seeing if it works?
Yeah, I think lucky accidents are a big part of, like, game design, actually.
So as opposed to a fully thought out idea?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was thinking about Optifine and the Minecraft texture packs. When you don't use like texture pack patchers and Optifine, they look very weird. Oh yeah. I was thinking about, are you planning on making Optifine and MC Patcher maybe a part of the game, because it would make it much simpler to make HD texture packs and use them?
I don't know. You're going to have to ask Jens. I think that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, it's just very complicated.
And guys, keep in mind that Marcus is no longer the lead developer of Minecraft, and later today we will have another panel that there will be Marcus and Jens at the same time. So if you have like future Minecraft development questions, this is probably not the session to ask. But go ahead.
A while ago you had a game of Quake with Team Evo and you won. Did they actually write that song they promised they would?
Yes, they did. I think I retweeted it.
Okay.
Do you think that Minecraft will grow bigger than, or will grow as big as some of the world's leading games?
In some senses, I think it's already bigger than a lot of them. Mostly because the community is so amazing. I mean, if you look at the number of YouTube videos, I think Minecraft is the #1 game in the world, of, like, just content out there for it. In number of units sold, I don't think that's important.
That's you guys, the community. Yay on you!
Yay, community!
I've had a question I wanted for a long time. Minecraft was just starting, or at least I read that there were a lot of different things, like the Zombie Boys and Steve's and the